today we're going to be talking about braking markers and why you should not use them, but we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. I'm going to be making some references while I speak, some subtle, some obvious. The first comment to tell me both what I'm referencing and the number of times I reference it will get a prize that will be revealed at the end of the video. With all that out of the way, let me blow your mind. So here's the deal. Most of y'all are out here picking a braking marker, like a 2-cone or a crack in the wall, and just going with it. Every lap, no matter what. Then you wonder why the car's not doing what you want it to do. That's backwards. We got to flip it and reverse it. You don't pick a marker and hope it accomplishes your goal. You pick a goal and you find a marker that helps you hit it. Big difference. Let's say you want to get to the bottom in turn 1 without burning up the right front. You're not just trying to get close to the bottom, you're trying to get low. That's the goal. Now work backward. Where do you need to lift or brake to make that happen? That is your real braking marker. If you start with, well, I'm going to brake at the 2-cone and it gets me pretty close to the bottom, you're doing it completely backwards. Static markers are traps. Braking at the same marker every lap is like being on repeat. Unless your name's Marshall and it's 2002, that ain't working. The car changes, tires fall off, the line evolves, dynamic track comes into play. You cannot keep doing the same thing and expect the same results because everything else around you is changing. You have to change with it. And this doesn't mean instead of braking at the 1-cone, you just back it up to the 2, to the 3, to the 4 over the course of the run. Those are still static markers that may not be maximizing your lap time potential for that particular lap. Here's something that I'm guilty of. Let's bring up a Garage 61 analysis of 2 laps. Now be honest, what's the first thing you looked at? I bet it was this. It was this, wasn't it? Or maybe this. What are we not looking at here? Here's a hint. It's literally the biggest thing on the screen. The track map. Looking at brake and throttle traces are almost useless if you don't know what the goal was that lap. Was it a qualifying lap? Were they wrapping the bottom on exit to save the right rear, or were they wanting to walk it out? Did they have to crank that wheel to get it to hold the line they ran? Look at more than one lap to get a feel for it. You might be able to tell if they're conserving or every lap they're hustling. When you go back and look at the throttle and brake traces after that, you'll have a much bigger picture of what you're looking at and if it even applies to you. You can drive it in shallow and hard brake to hit the bottom. You can open up the entry and late apex it. You can feather it to keep it smooth. All 3 of these hit the same mark on the track, but they come with different goals and different braking markers. And trust me, if you keep trying to make one style work everywhere, eventually the corner's going to smack that right front and your run's done. You got to feel the track, feel the car. You're not out here doing math, you're moving, you're flowing. You got to like the way you move. Not the way someone else does it, not the way you did it 20 laps ago, the way the car needs to be moved right now. But if you ignore that, if you're still using the same braking marker that you were 20 laps ago, you might as well be into club by yourself because the entire field's going to be driving away from you. One thing I want to address before we wrap up the video is that the video is talking about tracks that you already know and you're either working on race pace or qualifying or something like that. If you're learning a new car and track combo, it is perfectly okay to use a reference point for braking or throttle pickup points, entry angles, stuff like that. But that should be very early on in your development process. After about your first hour of spending time at a track, you should be moving more toward feel versus material markers. So here's the takeaway. Don't drive to a cone. Don't drive to a crack in the wall. Drive to a goal. Let your braking marker change lap to lap to help you get there. After watching this video, you might still have 99 problems, but braking markers ain't one. So that'll wrap it up from here. If you caught all the references in the video, drop a comment. Let me know how many you found. Some were obvious, but some were subtle. Let's see who was really paying attention. The first comment that says both what I was referencing and how many times I referenced it will get 15% off in the TCSP store. This applies to all one-time purchases and subscriptions. So whether you want a coaching session or a full year subscription, you can do it for a little cheaper. Big thanks to TCSP for providing this benefit for the video. So that'll do it from here. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.